Funny Bone, please welcome Keith Donato.
So I know what you're all thinking. I didn't know Billy Joel's stunt double did stand-up. And why does Billy Joel need a stunt double? So, I've been married for 12 years, and I have learned one thing, thank you, being married, is that it's a great way to stay humble. If I was single, I would never know how many things I do wrong. I may have gone days or weeks without realizing how much I was screwing up, roaming around like some sort of hapless, free-range idiot. But I'm getting enlightened all the time now. Another thing I've learned is wife speak. A lot of guys in here probably know wife speak. Like when my wife says, "You know, we need to," it means I need to. And when she says, "Have you seen my?" she means, "What have you done with mine?" And she says, "What are we having for dinner tonight?" she says, "Get in the kitchen and whip something up, bitch." But I don't miss being single. It may surprise some of you to know that I wasn't much of a ladies' man. Yeah. Early set jaw dropper there, right? And although I've never been asked to sign one of those non-disclosure agreements, I've had more than a few women say, "You better not tell anyone about this." And I actually had a few girlfriends along the way. I recently ran into an ex-girlfriend. That's always a lot of fun, right? And this one in particular, because she threatened to end her life if I broke up with her. End her life over me. So you can imagine how relieved I was when I ran into her. She was looking pretty good, very much alive and well. It was at that moment I realized I made the right decision, because I mean, who wants to be with a fucking liar? It makes me wonder what else she lied about. She was the same girl that would give me the silent treatment when she got mad at me. Some guys in here probably know about that. I got news for any woman that gives the silent treatment. To a man, silence is no punishment. Peace and quiet go together well for a reason. And most men will trade some peace for some quiet. You want to punish me? Continue giving me your unsolicited opinion about how much you're not a fan of my driving. Or drag me into one of those candle stores and do this for an hour. What's better, pumpkin spice or lemon lavender? Silence? No punishment. But I'm happy to be married. My wife is disappointed. You're married, sir, right? Yeah, your wife's disappointed too. And you know what? It's not our fault. It's just that this wasn't what she had planned. No woman grows up going, "Geez, if I could just meet a short, balding introvert with an unsightly amount of back hair, my life would be perfect." No, that's not what she was thinking. Unless she had a poster of a chimpanzee on her wall growing up. But, you know, Ryan Gosling wasn't calling, and I happened to be strolling by at the intersection of lowered expectations and reality. I think her biological alarm clock went off right at that moment, too, so a rare moment of perfect timing on my part. What do people say when someone's getting married? That they're settling down. Let's break that down. Settling. Compromise. Put an end to. As in put an end to your dreams, right? Down. Lesser. Lower. I'm just saying settling down doesn't have that "you struck gold" ring to it, right? But in spite of all of her disappointment, she agreed to have a baby with me. Thank you. And you know, it wasn't as easy as we planned. I mean, other than the fucking. But We ended up going to a fertility clinic, and I was against it initially. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but I got to tell you, it was an amazing, life-changing experience. I never imagined being in a clinical setting, discussing my masturbation habits, and it not being an intervention. I mean, what guy does? But, again, I understand my wife's disappointment because she didn't realize she was going to be marrying somebody who was so sensitive. I can't help it. I feel bad about so many things. So many things make me feel bad. For instance, I feel bad for people with Alzheimer's that don't like surprises and meeting new people. I feel bad for any woman with such horrible menstrual cramps. She doesn't have a period. She has an exclamation point. I feel bad for any man with so much shoulder and back hair that if he shaved it, he'd go down 2 shirt sizes. I feel bad for anyone married to a hoarder, because at some point you gotta say to yourself, is she still into me? Or like that 10-foot ball of aluminum foil, she just can't bring herself to throw me away. I feel bad for a nymphomaniac with narcolepsy. I mean, if you ever had a woman fall asleep on you too, you'd assume that. I feel bad for anyone who is convinced it was only going to be a fart. I feel bad for a gay toddler whose parents don't own a rectal thermometer. I'm a nature over nurture guy, you know? I feel bad for any guy who's only tall and dark. You just missed it by 1. I feel bad for myself because I missed it by all 3. And I feel bad for a T-Rex with jock itch. So as I've gotten older, I'm really more focused on getting in shape. I mean, for the longest time, the only crunches I was doing were Captain Crunches. So I finally decided to invest in the Brazilian butt lift video series. Are you familiar with those? You know, super trainer Leandro doing all those butt-centric exercises with those supermodels. Yeah, it was a tough sell. I think I watched that infomercial a couple 100 times and went through like a pallet of Kleenex before I was sold. But I gotta tell you, between the videos and the lunges, I think it's working out. I mean, whenever I'm out in public, I'm constantly overhearing people say, "What an ass." So anybody ever notice the more disgusting the food, the more they try to hide it behind some sort of more appetizing name? Like the best one is Rocky Mountain oysters. Anyone know what that is? Yeah, bull's testicles, right? I mean, to have the audacity to tuck these testicles behind that name, I mean, it completely messes with your head. You hear Rocky Mountain oysters, you think, Colorado is so beautiful, and oysters are aphrodisiacs. I'm gonna be banging some chick and listening to some John Denver. What could be better than that? But who was the first one to come up with this? That must have been one lonely night on the cattle drive. Just imagine that chuck wagon chef staring at that bull's yam sack going, I bet them things are delicious. You know, if that chef was straight, I'd be bitching about Rocky Mountain bearded clams right now. So why are oysters aphrodisiacs? I mean, scientists say it has something to do with increased zinc levels or some shit like that, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's a much easier explanation. Have you ever really looked at an oyster? They're fucking disturbing, right? And have you ever seen anyone eat an oyster? There's no 32 chews per bite savoring going on. It's like they're a contestant on Fear Factor. So I think you survive a couple of oysters, and sex seems much less risky. And the guy is thinking, well, she did stick that thing in her mouth. And a woman's thinking, you know, I did stick that thing in my mouth. And that's all that's coming out of this mouth. Thank you.
Keep it going. Keith Donato.